Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Tools for Gents exclusive Fox Knives Metamorphosis. Have they been doing this flipper tab on this knife for a while? I don't remember that being a thing. I reviewed the Fox Metamorphosis a long time ago, and I realized this version has a flipper tab. If you've ever handled this knife, the weird thing about it is it's got sort of this push button. It's different than anything else on the market. This is its own thing, and it won some awards a while back. But in order to engage with the knife, the flipper tab is enough to break this detent, right? But just pushing here is not going to break. You actually have to push in and then wheel it around, and then this plunge, I'm hesitant to call it a plunge lock, but I think that's what it is. This plunge lock just locks it out into the open position. And it's weird. It's kind of satisfying to push down and sort of wheel this out, right? Can you thumb flick it? Yeah, you have to kind of push down first and then thumb flick it. It's easier to use the flipper tab if you're not going to wheel it out, but it's a little bit of a weird and strange experience, right? Because it doesn't really have a heavy detent. So I carried this one for a bit, and it was fun in the sense that it was something that it wasn't what I normally experience and carry, right? But there were other little annoyances and things like that. So I'm going to talk about that today. This knife is available exclusively at Tools for Gents, which is a website that I highly recommend you guys check out. There is a lot of stuff there that is available nowhere else on the internet. So if you've never checked out Tools for Gents, make sure that you change the language to English if you want it to be in English. But if you've never checked them out, I would highly recommend you do. And yes, they are absolutely a recommended retailer, completely safe to order from. If you live in the USA, you're good to go ordering from Tools for Gents. Thanks so much to Tools for Gents for providing this knife for review. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and get a measurement. I don't think this is a lot different than the one I reviewed a long time ago, but it's different enough and it's been long enough that I want to cover it. The overall length of this guy is coming in at 8 inches. Blade length is coming in at maybe 3.4, and then your cutting edge is coming in at maybe 3.25 inches. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Kind of in between the 80-10 and 80-20.5. This is what I would call a full-size knife, and on the more robust side. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Definitely closer in size to the PM2, and it also has a little bit more cutting edge. Not crazy, but a little more cutting edge. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case the Ritter Hogue, and the Hogue Deca. In terms of size, like the closest, you know, the Ritter Hogue is going to be the knife that's closest in comparison, for sure. How's the action on this knife? Is it smooth? Yeah, it actually is. It's such an oddly satisfying thing to push this button. There's a spring in there. It's pushing the button back out, but you push it down, and then it rides around this little rail here out into the open position. Then you release the button, and it springs up so that it can't, you know, disengage. Is this a strong system? Well, I know it makes you guys cringe when I do this without gloves, but yeah, as far as like locks like this, which are not known for strength, it's good enough and will certainly engage enough that it's not going to create a dangerous situation during use. Now, if you're using this as a pry bar or a hammer or something like that, then you shouldn't be doing that. But under normal circumstances, it seems to be good enough. It's smooth. What's creating the detent here, I'll let you listen. It's almost nothing. So you can get it to thumb flick. I think easier than the one that I originally used. But pushing it down and getting it to whip around is kind of almost like you're going to have to adapt to it and kind of get used to it. And it doesn't feel perfectly organic. Flipping it, the detent is very light, so it doesn't feel, it breaks before you are ready for it to break. I don't ever feel like I can get this light switching or push buttoning it. It doesn't ever feel like it's primed enough to give me that satisfying flip. So it's nice that they have added the flipper tab, but you're going to find yourself doing this a lot with the wrist. I don't like having to do that. I just want the detent to be good enough. And I mean, it's tricky. They were trying to accomplish, adapting this system with a flipper tab, because maybe that's the reason that they did it, is probably because people were like, yeah, it's cool, but I kind of want to just be able to deploy it however. So the most satisfying way to deploy it is like this, in my opinion, and that's just because it's weird compared to what I'm normally used to. And it's also kind of fun. Like, I hand this off to my friends here locally, and I'm like, look at this is a weird one. And they're like, oh yeah, that's kind of weird. And then after a while, carrying this for a couple of days, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm carrying that weird knife. And so then I automatically just adapt. Like, I have defaulted to using the flipper tab, and I've just gotten used to doing this, which bothers me every single time. It works. It's fine. Like, functionally it works, but in 2025, I just want a flipper tab that feels really good, or I want a thumb stud that feels really good, And this is kind of like, we've forced these systems to be a part of this system, and they're just fine-ish. That's how it feels. The pivot does feel smooth, right? And nothing feels like it was, poorly made. It just feels like the system just isn't. It does. A flipper tab is not something that has adapted well to this system, right? It's just okay, right? Carry profile thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's a little thicker, not crazy. This knife does feel, like I said, on the more robust side. Length and height up against the PM2 and the Para 3. It doesn't feel crazy huge, right? It feels like I'm carrying a full-size pocket knife. It's not quite as tall as either the PM2 or Para 3. It's a little shorter than the PM2. It's honestly not that much longer than the Para 3. It's just, for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. I think for some people, it's going to be a little bit too big for them to carry. What are we looking at for materials? We are looking at, this is manufactured in Italy, by the way, M390. So how are they heat treating it? 59 to 61, which is pretty typical. That's what WE does. I wouldn't call it optimal, but it is very, very typical. I wish that it was about 60 to 62. I wish the whole industry would just move to that. In the past, Italian M390 was known for being much softer. So I'm happy that they have made attempts, apparently, to get it up to at least the industry standard 59 to 61, but I wish it was a little bit higher. And then we have micarta, and we have black PVD, titanium, and a stamped clip. They also have put the word metamorphosis on the inside of that backspacer, which is fine. It's kind of a jump scare, honestly. Didn't even know that was in there. We'll weigh it. I'm going to guess this weighs probably 4 to 4.5 ounces. Let's see. A little more, 4.8 ounces. Not perfect ratios, but the balance on it's pretty good because a lot of the weight is in the blade. There's a lot of micarta here and less titanium than you might think because of the way that this is all, kind of screwed together. The micarta is screwed to the titanium, and then this is, for ways, is all solid micarta, and then you have this weird sort of wraparound titanium backspacer that allows, everything to hold together without depending too much on the micarta. It's essentially nothing is, depending on the micarta. So it's a lot lighter than you might expect, but it still feels very solid. I was honestly surprised that there wasn't more titanium in here, but this piece back here makes it so that you don't need that. The backspacer is all one piece and it just has a fuller kind of milled through the middle. So let's measure the blade stock thickness real quick. Blade stock thickness is coming in at 156 thousandths, so on the thicker side. Let's do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel, or the pinned comment if you didn't know. The pivot is a T8. Right when I got this, it needed a little bit of adjustment. We're going to come back to that. And then you have a bunch of T6 screws, unfortunately. So it is, like the T8, there's a T8 for the pocket clip, which is nice. It is, you can mount it for left or right hand carry. If you are left-handed, this is significantly more awkward to operate with your index finger, but you can still do the cool guy wrist flick, flip, whatever. It's impossible to reverse flick this. If you're left-handed, I'll try. No, I'm going to cut myself on accident. I don't want to try that, but you can carry it left-handed, right? And just operate it with the flipper tab and then use your index finger to disengage the lock. It's a little awkward, but you can do it. I'm glad they allowed for lefties to at least be able to carry it if they wanted to. But as long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. And it shouldn't be that hard to take apart. Let's move into the meat and potatoes here. I do think this is a better version of this knife. I think that the flipper tab makes it like for people who just really want to try this out. I would recommend the version with the flipper tab because it just makes it a lot easier to carry and use. And once the blade is deployed, honestly, it's pretty comfortable. And I like the little choke up spot. I like the blade. It's a little thick behind the edge, right? So the heat treat's one thing, but this, it cuts a little slower and a little more clunky than something that's obviously got thinner geometry, but it still does just fine. The factory edge is okay. I think some people would define this as dull. So instead of, arguing about what's dull and what's sharp, it's sharp enough from the factory to slice paper, right? But like I can definitely run my finger up and down that and be totally fine. So I think that they could probably do a better job with the factory edge, right? I can strop this and get it sharper, or I could resharpen it, but it should be sharper from the factory. It's fine. Like, I mean, again, like I know people want to say, like, you used it, so of course it's a little bit, right, but it was like this from the beginning. The edge hasn't really changed that much. It just really wasn't very sharp from the factory. And it should be. So that was kind of disappointing. I'll let you guys take a look at the plunge grind. That's definitely going to affect some of you who do a lot of sharpening. So you make of that what you will. But if this is going to be your dedicated knife and you're going to use it and use it and use it, and then it's going to need to be sharpened quite a bit, then that area right there is going to be very, very important to you. So there's a good look at that. The flat runs out about 60% the length of the blade. Very strong blade for being made of M390, very robust geometry. The factory cutting bevel is pretty even. It starts to slightly smile back here, right on this side. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there a little bit too. And then it's kind of, it's a little bit, it's okay. It's not perfect. It's okay. But I imagine you're going to get, that's going to, continue to smile the more you sharpen it. But it's fine. Using this as a tool, it was fine. So if you're real nitpicky about stuff like that, it's going to bother you. Somebody like me, not so much. Thicker cutting geometry, not so much. As long as it's not slowing me down to the point where I'm just like, this has become a frustrating task. No, nothing like that. I do like the aesthetic. This is a lot easier for me to swallow than the one that I handled that was like real shiny. I like the black PVD titanium. I like the micarta. I like the tumbled. It looks like a tool. And honestly, it did fine. This knife was fine. It's just it felt like a very regular, slightly clunky pocket knife with an unorthodox, locking system and means of deployment. Significantly more awkward for lefties. I just really want that flipping action to be better. I think the backspacer is pretty cool, and there's a lanyard hole there if you really care about it. The pocket clip is such an odd, like it allows for, because it's slanted, I suppose it does allow for pretty comfortable carry. And in and out of the pocket is fine, right? It's just this ugly stamped clip, but functionally it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. This is a pretty darn comfortable knife. I think I've already kind of touched on it, but it is a comfortable knife, and the jimping is very, very good. Wish it went out a little further, but it doesn't, so that's just fine. A little bit of a choke-up spot right here, maybe one knuckle. It's got the TFG, or the Tools for Gents logo right there. It says Maniago, Italy. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, sorry. M390, and then it has the Fox Knives logo here, so pretty typical stuff. Lockup. Left and right, no blade play. Up and down. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I was going to complain about the up and down blade play, which was definitely something that was present. So awkward, but this happens sometimes. This has had up and down blade play the entire time I've had it. Since I got it, while I was using it, after I adjusted the pivot, and right before I started this video. But just now, nope, there it is again. I was about to say it doesn't have it. This lock is clearly trying to settle in. What is happening? Okay, there it is right there. Little bit up and down blade play. No left and right. But sometimes, well, it's still there. Nope, still there. Just now. Ah, right there. None. This lock is settling in. A little bit of stick there too. I want it to be solid all the time. This holds up enough. It holds up. It's fine. I don't at this price, I don't want any up and down play. I don't want any left and right play. If there is, I want to be able to adjust it out, which is usually left and right. The lock is clearly settling in, and it'll probably continue to get better. But that was slightly irritating. This is an expensive knife. It's manufactured in Italy, not China. So if it were manufactured in China, it would cost less. But it isn't manufactured in China. It's manufactured in Italy. So for some people, they're going to be like, okay, well, if that makes it more expensive, then I'll just go buy a Chinese knife. And that's exactly what you should do, right? But if you don't want to buy a Chinese knife, or you like this knife and, you're just like... some people are just like, I want this, but I want it to be the price of the Chinese version. And you can't, because manufacturing costs more in literally every other country. It doesn't cost as much to manufacture this knife in Italy as it would to manufacture in the United States, which has the highest manufacturing cost, to my knowledge. But it is expensive, right? So we have M390, we've got some titanium, we've got some micarta, and they want, on Tools for Gents, they want 319 euros for it. It's going to be even more for the US dollar, as far as I know, unless that's changed here recently. That's a lot of money. We are talking, for 319, I mean, like, let me tell you, American Blade Works makes the Model 2 for 350, and that's an American-made full titanium knife. And I think they utilize Magnica. They make that for $350. That's pretty good. Most American knives, admittedly, are quite a bit more. $319 will also buy you an absolutely outstanding Chinese pocket knife. I mean, outstanding, right? So you gotta really want this system, and you gotta really like this knife, right? I think, a price that landed around $250 to $275 would be a lot easier to choke down, but 319 euros feels like a lot of money. So I don't love that price tag. It's kind of neat, and some people will be able to justify it, if you really want to try out this system and you like how it looks. For $319, I think I would want a lot more embellishments. I would definitely want the heat treat, to be higher for the M390. I want some cool anodized and polished parts, right? Maybe contouring, more titanium. I definitely want a better detent. I definitely want that completely and totally solid lockup. It's not so much about getting the price to come down. It's, if you're going to charge that much, you need to be delivering a knife that's worthy of that price tag. And I just think that this isn't quite there. But I'm still going to link it, because some people, for a lot of people, it's got what they're looking for. I just feel like for the vast majority, probably not, So that's going to be pretty much it. It's fun though. It worked. It did exactly what I needed it to do. It just didn't do it in a way that felt 319 euros satisfying. So anyways, I do appreciate Tools for Gents sending it in to me anyway. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.